So there's this influencer that, to be honest, no one really cared about beforehand. I had never heard of her in my life until all this drama happened. Her name is Arielle Charnas, and she does fashion blogging, and she's also a designer. Well, people are up in arms because of her dangerous behaviour surrounding her alleged COVID-19 diagnosis. So it's pretty scary what she's doing and what she's getting away with. So 2 weeks ago, on March the 15th, Arielle had posted to her Instagram about feeling sick, and apparently she's known for being a hypochondriac, so none of her fans really cared. Right after she posted this story, she apparently called up a friend of hers who's a doctor to get a COVID test in her car. So as we can see here, the nurse literally came outside so Arielle wouldn't have to walk in, and Arielle had filmed this all for her Instagram story while promoting the doctor and his office. #sponsorship. So obviously Arielle received a heck ton of backlash for this, because if you live in America, you know how hard it is to get testing for COVID-19. There's lots of horror stories about it. And Arielle just basically cut the line, even though she's not a high risk, and she didn't even feel that sick. So for giving that particular doctor a shout out, he paid her in a Louis Vuitton purse. Meanwhile, she was waiting for her free test results that people worldwide are struggling to get. The privilege is unreal. So apparently Arielle deleted the story of her unboxing the Louis Vuitton straight after posting it, as we can see from Diet Prada's comment section. Then a couple days later, Arielle had posted this statement to her Instagram, basically stating that she would be resuming content as normal and that she wouldn't address the COVID situation again. She had said, "It's been 4 days since I started feeling incredibly sick. Each day the symptoms evolve into something else, and while I can't imagine how I'd ever catch COVID, from what I know, I haven't been in contact with anyone who has it. I'm dealing with the weirdest I've ever had since mono. I'm so happy my fever is gone, but the body pain that I'm feeling today is unlike anything else. It feels like we're all in a bad dream right now, but I'm determined to bring back some normalcy to our lives. This is the last time I'm going to talk about feeling sick right now on my Instagram, and move on to the things that make me happy, like my kids, family life, fashion, and work. If it offends anyone or seems as though I'm being insensitive during this time, I'm sorry, but it's what I've chosen to do. Back to regular content and programming. Can't wait to post my partnerships and my outfits from inside my apartment every day. I promise they will be better than this one. Love you all, stay home and stay healthy." So then on March the 18th, Arielle announced that she tested positive for COVID. It's also interesting to note that unlike most people, she received her test results very quickly. She had posted to her Instagram about it stating, "Hi guys, I wanted to give you all a health update. I realise there are many individuals, both in New York and nationwide, who do not have the ability to receive immediate medical care at the first sign of sickness, and access to care is #1 priority in a time like this. It is the responsibility of our government officers to ensure all Americans can access necessary tests, and I acknowledge how lucky I am to have had that access. I hope this ignites faster movement in the future. Like many of you, this pandemic has me on heightened alert, and I took what I believe to be the quick precautions necessary to protect the health and safety of my family, and now ultimately the people around me. This morning I learned that I tested positive for COVID-19. While this virus seems to be everywhere that you turn, its meaning and importance completely changes when it affects you personally. To date, I've been following the guidelines of the CDC and listening to the city and government officials, and I urge everyone to do the same. Now more than ever, it's become even clearer that these precautions are absolutely necessary to slow down this virus and protect the people most vulnerable to its spread. So now that I've officially tested positive, here is my plan per recommendation of my doctors. Continue to quarantine and self-isolate. Get lots of rest and drink fluids. Get in touch with family and friends that I've been in close contact with over the past 2 weeks, so they can be even more diligent in their own self-quarantine. And look out for any symptoms. My girls aren't showing any symptoms, but as you can imagine, we are watching them super closely. Brandon is also unwell and resting with us. My symptoms until now have been the following, but please remember, every single person may react to COVID-19 differently, so please do not take this as medical advice, and always refer questions to a medical professional. Started out with a very dry throat at night for a few days, then a sore throat like the kind before I am getting a cold, also with chest heaviness. My fever lasted 2 days, low grade, around 100.6. I then had a horrible headache and sinus pressure. I have zero appetite and no sense of taste or smell. Finally, what I'm dealing with now, which has been the worst, are the horrible body aches and skin sensitivity, like debilitating, keeping me up all night. The only thing working for me is extra strength, but the second it wears off, the aches are back. We are truly living in an unprecedented time, but if social media has shown us anything in the past couple of days, it's that we're all in this together. I know that many of you are scared and anxious, but please stay calm. Follow the directive of the medical and government communities, and please be kind to each other. And then, instead of self-isolating, she continues to hang out with her kids, kisses her kids, hangs out with her husband, hangs out with their nanny, like what the heck? Then her husband tests positive, and meanwhile all this is going on, she's posting TikTok videos where she looks perfectly fine and healthy. Then on March the 26th, 8 days after being diagnosed, Ariel and her family leave for the Hamptons. I mean, it's bad enough people worldwide are being told to stay home, and she's infected, yet she has the audacity to go away on holiday to the Hamptons. What about when the car breaks down and they have to call someone to come and fix it? I mean, she just doesn't think about anyone except herself. Her reasoning behind doing so was reported in an article interview. Here's what she'd stated. "We had decided to leave our apartment building," she continued. "We called our doorman beforehand and made sure to go to the elevator and lobby when it was completely empty. We are now at our house in the Hamptons and quarantining out here. We are completely symptom-free." So Ariel is well aware of all the rumours going around about her, and she had recently responded on her Instagram story.
Clarify a lot of the rumors going on around me and coronavirus. No, I'm not lying about getting and testing positive. That's just like the most absurd thing I've ever heard in my entire life, and actually disgusting. So I'm sad to think that anyone would ever think that I would do something that horrific. Two, another thing that I find horrific that people believe I did is that I used money and wealth to get a test, which is also massive BS. I have a bunch of doctors on my phone, speed dial, and when I was feeling really sick with a high fever, I called one of them and asked him if he could test me for the flu so that I could rule out. And he told me that with my symptoms, he's able to test me for both. So I went there, paid my $40 copay, and got tested for both. The only thing that I will say that I got, which other people haven't or didn't get at that time, was I asked the doctor if one of the nurses could come out to test me for my car, because I was almost positive that I had coronavirus and didn't want to infect anyone in the office. And so they did that favor for me, which they weren't able to do for other people afterwards because the backlash. Okay, so now I'll talk.
So what we can gather from this video is that she's literally denying cutting the line, even though she stated in her video she contacted her doctor friend to give her a drive-through appointment, which, by the way, in return for promotion, the doctor allegedly paid her in a Louis Vuitton purse. So then it doesn't end there. Oh no. Ariel posted an OOTD captioned "Fresh Air." People were just horrified that she was ignoring staying inside and travelling all the way out to the Hamptons. Ariel hasn't addressed anything, she doesn't care, she keeps posting content unbothered. One thing that's particularly grinding people's gears is that she's making her nanny work, even though the nanny has contracted the virus from her boss. Ariel had responded with yet another pathetic excuse when someone had asked her about this. "OMG, this is so hysterical and too cute. Are you currently able to have your nanny out there with you guys? I wasn't sure with everything going on if they were still with you at this moment. My nanny and I got sick together, unfortunately, and she hasn't left us since. But she's perfect now too." So instead of apologising for her antics, Ariel is doing countless sponsorship swipes and ignoring the thousands of messages and comments about her infected timeline. So if you thought things still couldn't get any worse, her Hamptons house is just a rental, meaning that her family just infected and contaminated someone's house. Once again, Ariel took to her Instagram story amidst the drama, not to post an apology, but to post more pics of her posing in Chanel. And lastly, among many other questionable stunts, Ariel held her daughter's birthday party at the Museum of Ice Cream on March the 7th, which was 11 days before she had received her diagnosis. And hosting events like birthday parties in public areas with lots of people is dangerous enough as it is, and people have been strongly advised to not do that. But Ariel, of course, didn't care. People are now wondering if she even bothered to contact people working at the museum about her diagnosis that she received 11 days later. And remember, it takes 2 weeks for symptoms to show. What are your thoughts on all this drama? Let me know in the comments. That's all for this investigation. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell. My social media will be linked down below, and I'll see you guys in our next investigation.